Hello, Miss Linda here. So glad you could join us today for Lesson 6 in our Love Smarts program. This is a place where we can talk about the important issues facing young people and old alike about relationships and how to mature our love. I just want to remind all of you, please take notes for each lesson. Write down just 3 things you learned or what you found interesting each day. In the previous lesson, we discussed about how college women, what they looked for in a future spouse, as well as how men responded from all over the world when asked how, what defines them as a man. We also explored the meaning of those 3 powerful words, I love you. In this section, we're going to share with you about research that reveals the possible unhealthy consequences for when those 3 words are misunderstood or even sometimes misused, followed by the real benefits of respecting yourself and others. As always, it's all about making love smart choices. So let's begin. So, oftentimes we think about what other people do to us, but what kind of person are we? What kind of person do we want to become? Do I always tell the truth? Do I say things I don't really mean to get what I want? Do I want to be in a relationship with somebody who doesn't tell the truth? It's something really, if we have to lie and sneak around to do things, even with our parents, what does that say about that behavior? Is it unhealthy? Is it wise? Is it good for my future? It's just good to pause and think. Now, here's an activity we'd like you to do as homework. Imagine that for many years from now, you've passed away. Your friends and family have gathered, and a friend has been asked to give a eulogy or a short speech describing your life and the impact you had on others. What do you wish others would be able to say about you? Write this eulogy in the position of a friend looking back on your life. You would start out maybe, friends and family were gathered here together to celebrate the life of, put your name. This was really a good person. We went to school together. I know that they helped so much with volunteer work in the community. They were a good husband. They were a good wife. They had children. What kind of things would you like people to remember about your life? Well, here's a big number, the number 3. Sexually active high school girls are 3 times more likely to be depressed than girls who are not having sex. Not only that, they're 3 times more likely to try to commit suicide. Number 11, high school girls, again, who have more than one sex partner are 11 times more depressed than girls who are not having sex. I don't make this up. These are the facts. It's printed in the American Journal of Preventive Medicine. The number 3, high school guys in high school who are having sex and using alcohol are 3 times more likely to be depressed than the guys who are not having sex. So sometimes we need to think, did sex really make them happier? Half of all sexually active teens report that they felt used, guilty, or regretful, whether or not it was sexual intercourse or oral sex. And females, again, were 3 times more likely to say out of this group that they felt used. Sometimes we need to think, why? Why does this happen? Maybe girls are more emotional, something to think about. This is about a girl who, her name's Jerica, and she had written our website. And I remember my boss had given me her email to, try to talk to her and show support. And this is part of what her email said. I've recently been to your website looking for answers. I haven't always been this depressed. I have been sexually abused for 7 years. How many of you know what it's like to hate the opposite sex? Contrary to the belief that these perpetrators, rapists, and sexual abusers are hiding in the shadows or behind bushes late at night, 73% of people who were assaulted reported that it was done by a non-stranger they were attacked by a person they knew. 38% of the people who reported sexual abuse said that it was a friend or an acquaintance of theirs. And 28% reported that this was actually their intimate partner. It was either their boyfriend or girlfriend who sexually abused them, and 7% were another relative. Now, while these feelings of depression and we blame ourselves, they're very real feelings, but we need to understand it's never your fault. No is no. Nobody should be abused, whether they're intoxicated or sober. Your guidance counselors have resources. Tell them it was a friend of yours that was sexually abused. You're looking for help for them. They have people that can talk to this person who oftentimes had been through sexual abuse themselves. They really understand. So, of course, teen sex oftentimes is acting out other very important issues. They may have been, like we talked about Jerica, sexually abused as a young person. They have low self-esteem, thinking they'll fit in with other kids, the cool bunch, if they're sexually active. Or maybe they feel like they really love somebody, and if I give up my virginity or I have sex with them, they'll know I love them. The big problem is lacking a vision or goal for their future. Why is that important? When we're faced with the fork in the road, should I do this or that? Which of these activities is going to bring me closer to my goal? Ditching school or, doing my homework. It provides like a compass to lead us in the best direction for our future happiness. Now, even though these are very real, substantial problems, did having sex solve even one of them? Or did it make it worse? Even when I talk to college students, I find that many of them report they're on this hookup sex merry-go-round. Just one thing leads to another, and they're back where they started. They might have had sex with somebody after a party. They feel worried, oh, did I get somebody pregnant? Do I have an STD? And then as it settles in, they have regret or guilt. Why did I do this? I didn't even know this person. It damages their self-respect because they feel I was out of control. I'm really not that kind of person. So then we begin telling lies. If we have to lie and sneak around, even with our parents, what does that tell us about that behavior? Is it healthy? Is it good for our future? Then we associate our sexuality with lying, hiding, all of these kind of things that are very bad habits. We lose our ability to trust, especially when we've been betrayed, and sometimes people can't trust us either. And then we have rage from betrayal, from being dumped by somebody we gave our heart to. And oftentimes we turn that rage into depression. We start hating ourselves, blaming ourselves, causes ruined relationships. When I was in a high school last year, the students would say, yeah, sometimes these couples are really getting along. It's a great relationship. But once they start having sex, it becomes the stake that kind of drives them apart. What was amazing about the relationship oftentimes was the fact they were not having sex. And ultimately, it stunts our personal growth. Instead of developing your skills, your abilities, your creativity, focusing on your goals, you're just focusing on being with each other, thinking about each other, talking with each other. You're really stunting your own personal growth. And then it goes back again to worrying and regret and guilt. It just becomes an unbreakable cycle. So oftentimes when I begin my program, I ask, what are the benefits of having sex? High school and college students answer me the same thing. They say nothing, Miss Linda. So do we really want to base all of our choices and decisions in life based upon what we fear, pregnancy, STDs, AIDS? Or do we want to base it on what will bring us the greatest benefit? What will bring us the greatest happiness? So think about it for a minute. Write down, what are some of the emotional benefits for delaying sex, waiting until marriage, waiting until after you get a college degree? Think about that. What would be some of the emotional benefits of waiting? Yeah, I'm sure some of you wrote down no worry about pregnancy and STDs. Also, no regret, no guilt. You always, had your self respect. You have no rage over betrayal, and you have not betrayed somebody else. You have less depression because you know you're doing the right thing. Because why? It's the right thing to do. You have greater self respect. You're in control of your destiny. You're in control of today. You're living, oftentimes we say YOLO, YOLO, you only live once. Well, I'm here to say, yeah, YOLO, YOLO, you only live once. So be the best you can be. Do the real you. Have a clear conscience that sex is reserved for that future person. How would you feel if this person came to you and said, I saved my gift that's never been unwrapped for you and you alone? Wouldn't you feel special? There's more trust in relationships. When you've not deceived other people, you've not broken other people's hearts, you haven't violated people's trust, your word was your bond, there's more trust in relationships. And your relationships are not ruined. Maybe you were too young and immature to have a real relationship. Later on, you can revisit that relationship. How are you doing? You don't have that regret or guilt. Easy to resume and look a little further in that relationship. Maybe it is a good one. And you get to focus on your personal growth. This time will never come again. You'll have a career, family. This is a time when you can do you. You can focus on your personal growth, focus on developing your character. And I want to ask in closing, how many of you would like to eventually find the right one? I hope all the hands go up. What's the first step, according to research, that you can take that puts things more in your favor, eventually finding the right one? That's right. Before you can find the right one, you have to become the right one. So you have a great day, and it was really nice chatting with you. Looking forward to other sessions. Have a great day.